You were raised in a house that was unsafe, and so your emotions were unsafe, and now you have kids, and every time they have big feelings, you get triggered. What do? There's a lot of different steps you can try, but the first I think that's really helpful is just acknowledging that truth. There's a lot of weight in just seeing what really is. You don't have to adjust anything, just to notice it, just to be with it is a huge step. The other thing is sitting with yourself in compassion with that. Not having excuses, not trying to play victim, but just being with yourself and what that difficulty was. It's a huge step. For me, identifying what is and knowing where I am in the mix made a huge difference. Like, for example, I as a kid used to get in trouble for messes, right? I used to be terrified of light brights because of my parental figures getting so angry because it could be a mess or a piece could be left out. And then I became an adult and had kids, and I thought I had become the monster, right? And I hated myself for having become the monster, where I'd instantaneously go from calm to like livid because of messes. And then I was doing research on CPTSD, and when you go from calm to livid, it isn't an anger response, it's a trigger response, right? What that means is your protectors in your body, that's what anger is activating, saying, no, don't touch that, right? So it wasn't me becoming my monster, it wasn't me becoming the villain, it was me saying, protect yourself from that, don't go to where it was painful. And me identifying and knowing that I was just trying to protect my childhood self in that anger. When the messes happened, I would say out loud what I needed to hear as a kid. It's just a mess. We can clean it up. It's just a mess. We can clean it up. And I would say it out loud to my kid, but also to myself when the messes happened. But just simply knowing that's what was happening was huge in diffusing that trigger for me. So it's sitting with yourself, it's identifying why you're going, what the trigger means and what it is, giving yourself compassion and grace. I am a big proponent, if you have the ability to do therapy and have a good therapist, because not all therapists are made equal. I've gone through a lot of really bad therapists, but when you have a good therapist, it can be fantastic. Reading books, if you don't have that, you can go to a library for free and they have a good amount of resources. Not all libraries, but often they have access to Libby online, which has a lot of great audiobooks, and you can borrow them for free for 2 weeks. But just sitting with yourself in compassion and being honest about what is a huge step in the right direction. Start being curious about what your body needs in the moment. That's a great starting place. If you'd like more tactile and practical ways, I have an entire podcast devoted to what I have been doing and how I do it and what I have found helpful. It's called In the Nude, Naked Truth of Healing. I literally raw and honest about literal examples like I just gave and things that I have found to be helpful. If you have any particular questions, I would love to answer them as well here.